Hi boys and girls, welcome to Everyday Math Lesson 3.3, Telling Time. The materials that you'll need today, notebook paper, pencil, and your math journal. Let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over our math boxes from the previous lesson. So if you can open up to page 58 in your math journal. If you're noticing that you have any mistakes, please fix those with your pencil and eraser. For question number 1, it says draw the hands to show 4:30. So you can see my hour hand, the shorter hand, is in between the 4 and the 5, and my minute hand is on the 6. For question 2, write 7 even numbers. There are so many even numbers, you just needed to pick 7 of them. So the numbers I picked were 6, 12, 20, 22, 14, 38, and 40. For question number 3, put these numbers in order from smallest to largest and circle the middle number. So I have the numbers 3, 23, 49, 59, and then 159. And notice how 49 is the number I circled because that's the middle number. For question number 4, fill in the tally chart. Grade 1 sold 17 cupcakes at the bake sale. You can see I have 17. I have 3 groups of 5, 5, 10, 15, and then 2 more, 16, 17. And then grade 2 sold 13. So I have 2 groups of 5, 5, 10, and then 11, 12, 13. For question number 5, what is the temperature? So you should have seen that it's 20 degrees, and that would be considered a cold temperature. Anything 32 or below would be considered freezing. So 20 degrees is cold. For question 6, a bag of pretzels costs 95 cents. Now I know 95 cents is really close to $1. So about how much money would you need to buy 3 bags? Well, 1 plus 1 plus 1 would get me to 3. So I know I would need $3. Choice C. Please double check to make sure you have your page correct. And again, fix any mistakes with your pencil and eraser. Now we'll put our math journal to the side and we'll need our whiteboard or notebook just for a little bit, just for a couple slides. If the speed is ever too fast, please pause as often as needed. So boys and girls, today we're going to work on telling time. So just to review, you can notice that my red hand is my shorter hand, and that's going to be my hour hand. My longer hand is my blue hand, and that's my minute hand. So what time do you see on the clock? You can either write it down or you can say it out loud. And you should have said 2 o'clock. Let's try 2 more like this. What time do you see now? Again, notice how my hour hand is just a little bit past the 1. My minute hand is on the 3. So in order to count that, I can count that 5, 10, 15. So it is 1:15. One more like that. What time do you see? So notice how my hour hand is in between the 4 and the 5. So I know that my hour is 4. And then when it's on the 6, I know that that's 30. If I was unsure about that, I could also count by 5s, starting with my 1 being 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, showing 4:30. If you want more practice, you could write down some more times, or you could take a look at a clock that looks like this at home before moving on to our next part. So now we're going to take a look at page 59. And 59 looks like this, where at the top part, you are just writing the times that you see. For number 2, you're drawing the hands to match each of the times. Now for part 3, you can either make up times on your own and draw the hands to show each of the time, or if you want to use my times, these are the 3 times that I'm going to show. I'm going to show 6:15, 2:45, and 3:10. So if you want to write down those numbers, you can, or you can make up some on your own. But I'm going to ask that you press pause, solve, and then press play when you're ready to check. Pause now. All right, second graders, let's check to see how you did. So looking at question number 1, the first clock you should have had that showing 6 o'clock. For the second one, you should have had it showing 2:30. Notice how my hour hand's in between the 2 and the 3 and my minute hand's on the 6. Then you should have seen that it said 8:30. And for the last one, you would have had 11:15. And if you're noticing that you have any mistakes, I want you to fix those and just really look carefully at those numbers and those hands on the clock. Then for the second part, draw the hands to match the time. So to show 8 o'clock, notice how my hour hand, my shorter hand is on the 8, and my minute hand, my longer hand is on the 12. To show 3:30, my hour hand, my shorter hand, is halfway between the 3 and the 4, and my minute hand, my longer hand, is on the 6. To show 7:45, look at my hour hand. Notice how it's pretty close to the 8. Okay, but it's in between 7 and 8, but it's closer to the 8, and my minute hand is on the 9. To show 9:15, my hour hand is just a little bit past the 9, and my minute hand is on the 3. For the last part, if you used my times, then your clocks will look just like mine. But if you made up your own times, then yours will look very different, and that's okay, as long as your hands match your time. So I had 6:15, so my hour hand was just a little bit past the 6, and then my minute hand is going to be on the 3. To show 2:45, my hour hand is in between the 2 and the 3, but it's a little bit closer to the 3. And then my minute hand is on the 9, showing 45, because if I was counting by fives, I would have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So to show 45 minutes, it would be at the 9. And then for the last one, I chose 3:10. So my hour hand, my shorter hand, is pointing at the 3, and then I would count 10. So I would have my 5, 10. So my minute hand would be pointing right at that 2. All right, if you're noticing that you have any mistakes, please fix those. We will talk more about time in future lessons. The last thing we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at our math boxes. So if you could open up to or turn to page 60, we'll talk about the directions. Then I'm going to ask that you complete this page on your own. When you're all done, take a picture and add the picture to Seesaw for your classroom teacher, and we will go over this page in our next video. For question number 1, use your calculator to count by 6s. So just like what we did last time, and it looks like, so you're starting at 36 and you're continuing on. If I just get you started with this one, so if I type in, I could do it 2 different ways. I could do 6 plus 6 equals, and then watch how I'm skip counting. And then you can see it goes to 36. If I click equals again, that would be that next number that I'm going to plug in. Okay, the other way you could do is you could start with 36 and you could add 6 and hit equals. And then it should, yep, it'll keep skip counting for you. All right, so again, you can either use your calculator or you can use your brain for that question. For question number 2, write less than, greater than, or equal to. Make sure to solve each of the sides before you decide which one is going to be greater than or less than. For question 3, solve. Pay really close attention to those zeros. You can pick whatever you want for your unit. For question 4, how much money do you see? For question 5, Shen had 30 postcards. He collected 17 more postcards. How many does he have in all? So think about, what did he start with? What was the change? And then you're solving for the end. Below, you can put your number model, what you are either adding or subtracting. And then for question 6, write the number that's 10 more than each of these 4 numbers. All right, I'll see you next time.